Till now, students, we have learned the movement in cockroach, snail and earthworm. Next we go to the movement in fish, in birds, and then finally in human being. So you know this fish, it falls under vertebrate, means it has skeleton system in it, and its body and muscle and everything, it has a backbone. But some fishes, they do not have the bone. Their cartilage is, they are used as bones. They are, means the bone, the skeleton is completely made up of cartilage. Now what is cartilage? They are not exactly muscle, but they are strong fibers, you understand, those act as the bone. Now, as we learned in cockroach, the cockroach had exoskeleton, means they had skeleton outside the body, but the fish have internal skeleton, means their bones are inside the fish. If you have eaten fish, you will be knowing those bones which we kata, which we say in Hindi, that is the bones, that is the part of the bones. Okay, now you all know fish live in water, and you know the shape of the fish is like this. This shape is known as the streamlined shape, means this shape, pointed at both the ends and broader in the middle. So this type of shape is known as streamlined shape. This is what the shape of a fish is like. Now what is the usefulness of the streamlined shape? Since the body of the fish, it is streamlined, then what happens, the movement of the fish in the water is very, it helps, you can say is easy, or you can say it helps the streamlined body of the fish helps the fish to move easily in the fish and in the water, and the water does not put any kind of resistance on the fish. For example, if I tell you, you all have made paper boats like this, isn't it? Now you can do this at home and see. Make 2 paper boats or make 1 paper boat. And this is the water in some pan or anything, bucket or anything. You push the water boat from the one of the narrower end. It will move on easily. But the same, if you try to move it from this side, means the broader end, it won't move. It will stay there. That means it is not helping to the movement of this boat. There is some kind of resistance there, means obstruction is there, so that it's not moving. So this is also streamlined, because why? See, they are narrow at both the ends and broader in the middle. Now the fish, they have different kinds of fins. They are helpful in which helps the fish in movement. One is the dorsal fin, one is caudal fin, then this is the anal fin, this is the pelvic fin, and this is the pectoral fin. Now in this class you won't be learning which fin which helps the fish in which way, means because all the fins have different part. I am just telling you this tail fin or the caudal fin, it helps the fish to give the direction, means in which direction the fish will move, it helps in that. Okay, now let's come to the swimming of the fish. How does a fish swim? So the special structures are present in fish which help in swimming. Besides tail, these structures include fins and the flexible backbone. So as I told you, the fin, the tail fin or the caudal fin, it helps the fish to, the caudal fin or the tail fin, it helps the fish to movement, and the other fins also help, and the bone, the backbone which the fish has, it is very flexible, that helps the fish in movement. Now the skeleton of the fish is covered with very strong muscles. That's why it can swim and it can survive the resistance of water, because it's had to stay inside the water. Now the fins provide stability and direction while swimming. Now these fins, they not only help the fish to swim, but also provides stability. Means if it is not stable, then it will either fall this way or that way, isn't it? So the fish has to be stable, it has to move this way. That's why that is also maintained by these fins, the different types of fins. So fins provide stability and the direction while swimming and prevent body from rolling. Thus the fish can swim easily in water. Now while swimming, the forward movement takes place as follows. How does it take place? Here you see the example. The muscles in the front part curve to one end, so it's curving to one end, while the tail curves moves in other directions. See, this part is moved to this way while the tail is this way. So it's like this, isn't it? Again, then the front part and the tail, they part quickly curve to the other side. Means once they move like this, and second time they move like this. So this way they move and move forward. I hope I am able to understand, explain you. Suppose the front part will move this way and the tail part will move this way for the first scene. Again, what will happen? This first part, this, let me mark it, A, B, C. So this A to it was moved this side. Now it will moving. So it has turned this one and it will move this side. This is C. So it goes on again. This will come this way and this way, and then again this way and this way. So this way the fish moves forward. Okay. So this is the how the movement in fish is caused. Due to the movement of these muscles this way, they provide a jerk in the fish. Means अचानक से धक्का लगता है उनको in the muscles, and that's why they move. Yeah. Now let's come to birds. Birds, you know, they can fly in air and they can walk on ground also. But there are some birds which swim. Which are those? Swans are there, ducks are there, they swim in water. Then there are some birds which cannot fly. Okay, as for emu or ostrich or penguins, these birds cannot fly. This ostrich and emu, they can run very fast. They can, whereas this penguins, they can swim very properly. They can swim properly. Penguins, they have wings. They have very big wings, but they cannot fly. It is due to their body weight. They cannot fly. Okay. So their feet is a webbed feet. Webbed feet, you have understood what is this? It will be like this, and it will be covered with a thin layer of skin. This type of feet is known as webbed feet. So these birds which have, what are the features that helps the bird to fly? One, they have streamlined body which make them easier for them to move in water, similar as the fish. The fish has streamlined body that help them to move in water. The birds also, they have streamlined body which helps them to move in air. Same streamlines is in the, you have seen, is the shape of a plane, aeroplane. How is an aeroplane? You know, it's like this. It has something like this, and it has wings like this, isn't it? So see, this is also a streamlined body. So streamlined body is very much necessary for the plane or the birds or the fish to move. Okay. So then that was the first one, that they have streamlined body. Second is the bones are hollow and light, which makes their body weight. Now the bones which this birds have, it is hollow. See, this pencil is not hollow, isn't it? It is made of complete wood, but their bones are hollow. That is why their body weight is very less and they can fly. Then the wings, they have wings with feathers. Flapping of wings provides both thrust and lift in the air. So due to the wings, thrust and lift means when the wings are flying like this, so what does the feather do? It puts pressure, and that's why it lifts up in the air. It puts pressure on air, and that's why the bird lifts up in the air. Okay. Strong breast muscle helps in flapping the wings during flight. Now to flap the wings, the birds also have to fly. The birds have to flap their wings, and that is due to the presence of strong breast muscle of the bird. Now let's come to the movement of snakes. The bodies of snakes show the following features. Means, what are the features of a snake which helps in the movement of the body, or what are the features of the of a body of a snake? So they have a long backbone. You know, snakes are very long. Some are small snakes also, but they are longer than the birds, isn't it? They have long backbone? Because their bodies are long. They have many thin muscles connected to each other. The muscles, however, are far from each other. Now, these snakes, they have very thin muscles. All of the muscles are connected to each other, but they are far from each other. Muscles are also connected to backbone, ribs and skin. So, the muscles present in the snake, they are also connected to the backbone, to the ribs of the snake and to the skin of the snake. Now, snakes move very fast by crawling on their bellies. Special structures called scales are present on their bodies. The scales helps them in crawling. During movement, the body curves in many loops. Each loop gives the snake a forward push by pressing against the ground. Now, you must have seen the snake moves like this, isn't it? It moves this way forward. So again, it will move like this. So when it's moving this way, what happens? The scales that are present on the body, see, these are the small scales, isn't it? The scales which are present on the body, it helps in the movement of the snake. Okay, this is the head of the snake. It helps. Means it moves like this. It has some scales on the body, so it again pushes the body forward. And these loops which they are formed, this also helps the snake to move forward by giving means by forcing or giving a thrust. Thrusting means giving force to the snake body. And this snake, any snake, they do not move in a straight line, that it will move like this. No, it will always follow in a loop form. The snake always forms a loop form where they can move easily. Now let's come to know what is endoskeleton. A skeleton that is present inside the body is known as endoskeleton, whereas the skeleton present outside the body is known as exoskeleton, and it is present in cockroach. Yes. Like human beings, endoskeleton consists of bone, is found in all vertebrate animals like fish, frogs, snake and birds. In fish, which two fish as I told you that they don't have a backbone. They don't have backbone in the sense that whole skeletal system is not made up of bone, but instead of bone it is made up of cartilage. One is shark. Yes, and what is the other one? Yes, the stingrays. The other one is the stingrays. So the two fishes that don't have bones means bones are in form of cartilage. You can say the bones in form of cartilage are shark and stingrays. Okay. So this was all about the movement in different types of animals and reptiles. Next we'll be moving on to the movement in human beings.